If you hate your body, food may have become the place where you get relief from the constant self-criticism. You look in the mirror, see a photo of yourself, try on clothes that used to fit, or see someone who has the body that you would like to have. And then the thoughts start. I can't believe I look like this. I let myself go. I have no willpower. I need to get my eating under control. And those thoughts may feel like motivation. You may feel like being hard on yourself will finally make you change. But for many people, body shaming does not create discipline, it creates pain. And when food has become your quickest way to soothe yourself, body shaming can become the biggest trigger for emotional eating and binge eating. You feel bad about your body, so you eat to feel better for a moment. But then you feel guilty, ashamed, and afraid that you ruined everything. So you promise yourself that tomorrow you will be good. You will cut out sugar, snacks, carbs, or whatever you can't control. But the more restrictive and critical you become, the more food becomes urgent, tempting, and emotionally charged. And eventually you overeat again, and then you feel even worse about your body. You hate your body even more. And this is the cycle. This is a cycle that you can be stuck in for many years. So the cycle goes like body shame leads to emotional pain leads to food for relief. Food brings temporary comfort, followed by guilt. Guilt leads to restriction. Restriction makes food feel even more tempting, powerful, emotionally charged. So you overeat and you start criticizing your body, and the body shame and the cycle starts again. And if you've been stuck in this cycle, you may feel like food is the problem. But most often, food is not the problem. Food is the coping mechanism that you've been using to cope with the pain of not feeling good enough in your own body. And the solution for getting out of this cycle is not trying harder, eating more perfectly, or hating yourself into discipline. The solution is learning how to feel safe around food and regulate your emotions without food as your number one coping strategy, and to trust your body again. And this is not a small issue affecting only a few insecure women. In a UK survey, 62% of women and 66% of children said they felt negative or very negative about their body image most of the time. And men are getting more and more affected too. And research has also found that when teenagers and young adults reduce their social media use by around half for a few weeks, they felt better about their appearance and weight. And that matters because many of us spend hours per week looking at images of bodies that have been edited, filtered, posed, enhanced, and selected from hundreds of photos. And then we compare our ordinary, normal, unfiltered bodies to someone else's highlight reels. And we start to believe that if we don't look like that, then we are lazy, unattractive, undisciplined, and somehow less worthy, right? And as you can see, this body dissatisfaction can start at a very young age. So if you have children, pay attention to this also, because many young girls go on these restrictive diets and they are not sustainable and they lose weight, but after a while they may start binging or overeating and get into the restrict and binge cycle. And it's very difficult to get out of that cycle. And it happened to me too. In my early 20s, I wanted to look attractive, so I started to undereat and overexercise. After all, that was what I saw in magazines. There wasn't even social media back then. I was born in the 1970s. So I went on these crazy diets, and then, of course, I lost weight. I felt better about myself. But when my body had been underfed, over-controlled, and pushed too hard for too long, food became a physical relief and an emotional relief as well. And more and more often, I had the urge to binge or overeat. And then I had to restrict to compensate, and then binge and compensate. And when women are stuck in this cycle, they start to doubt themselves. Their self-esteem drops. And the obsession with thinness affects their self-confidence. And they start to fear that something must be wrong with them, because clearly only someone who has something wrong with them can have these eating issues. So they start to fight and attack their eating issues and their bodies, right? They fight their appetite, they fight their weight, and they fight body fat. It's all this fighting. And at the same time, they constantly tell themselves that you are not good enough, you failed, you can't stick to the plan, you are not disciplined enough. And they make themselves feel miserable without any sustainable results to show for it, right? But it's not your fault that you eat emotionally to deal with the pain of having a negative body image. And it's also not your fault that you have a negative body image. You just try to cope with the pain in a way that worked for you. And our bodies are designed to crave sugar and salt and fat because they were scarce many years ago as we evolved. But they are abundant now, but the craving is still there. And also, you may have been comforted as a child when you had a pain. You fell, you hurt yourself, and maybe someone gave you some ice cream or chocolate to feel better. And then now you associate pain and comfort with food. You may also associate love and feeling loved with food because when you visited your grandmother and as an adult you visit your mother, they always make your favorite food. So food can be emotionally charged, and then food can easily become your number one way to soothe physical and emotional pain and also to distract yourself from body shaming. And we are also surrounded with marketing that associates food with comfort, reward, or social connection and fun. So from one side, you are bombarded with marketing that you should eat this indulgent food to have fun, to feel connected or comforted. And on the other side, you get all the marketing that you should look like this, so buy this product, and you shouldn't eat that because that makes you fat, and eat this instead. And it's also confusing, right? Because then you always have the cravings for those indulgent, happy foods, and you also have the craving to look good and lose weight. And that's why you start criticizing yourself because you don't look that good, but also comfort yourself with the foods that you know you can comfort yourself with. And as I said, the solution is not to try harder and criticize yourself more. The solution is having self-compassion. Because as you could see, self-criticism only fuels the cycle of negative body image and overeating, as I showed it before. But when you are more compassionate with yourself, then you want to treat your body well because you love your body. You don't want to abuse it anymore. You don't want to starve it following some diet that promises you really quick weight loss. And you also will not abandon your body when you feel some emotions and just stuff it with food that it doesn't need. You will love it and you will treat it better. And you will stop the self-criticism, and you will start talking to yourself like you would talk to someone you love, because you most likely wouldn't talk like that as you talk to yourself to someone you love, right? I hope so. You will kindly and compassionately cheer yourself and coach yourself to be that better version of you that you would like to be. Being more compassionate and kind to yourself doesn't mean that you let yourself go, because you can love yourself and still want to change. You love your children and you still want them to put their dirty clothes into the laundry basket. Or you love your job, but you may still want to earn more money. You can love yourself and still want to change. That's okay. That's possible. That's the best way to go about it. When you love yourself and love your body, you will eat healthily and exercise because you want to feel good, because you don't want to feel bad, either starving or stuffing yourself. You want to feel good. You want to be in a body that feels good, right? So you will stop the extreme behaviors and find the gray area where you feel good by not abandoning yourself, but still improving yourself, but not with extreme approaches. So start being aware of when you are body shaming yourself, when you are criticizing yourself. Catch yourself And tell yourself that actually my weight is not the most interesting thing about you. What is the most interesting thing about you? Think about it. And also think about what you really need, what you are trying to get out of overeating when you overeat. What is the feeling you are after? How can you get that feeling in other ways? And I know that loving yourself is like a big step and it's just feels like impossible, right? So just start with expecting yourself and respecting your body and having more compassion for yourself. And a good way to start doing that is using a photo of yourself when you were around 3 or 5 years old. Get this photo and look at it. How cute you are. How can you not love her or him? And that's still you. The essence of the child is still inside you. And you would want the best for the child, right? You wouldn't want to starve her or stuff her with food. You would want to give her nice, healthy foods, but also some treat foods. And you would want her or him to exercise regularly to feel good. But you wouldn't force her to overdo it, right? You would want to make her or him feel good. You would want to love them. So make them feel good. Stop the crazy diets. And when you stop restricting and binging and compensating for the binge, then your appetite will get back to normal. The constant cravings gets quieter, and the food noise and the urge to binge will also quiet down. You just need to stop dieting. And if you overeat, stop compensating and restricting the next day. Just eat normal, healthy food most of the times, and let yourself have some fun foods too in moderation. And if you recognize yourself in this pattern and you are tired of trying to fix your binge eating or emotional eating with more rules, more restrictions, and more self-criticism, this is exactly what I help my clients to solve inside my private and group coaching programs. I can help you create motivation without constantly criticizing yourself and without the negative self-talk. I also can help you to regulate your emotions without using food and also find what you are really hungry for and give it to yourself. And also to find the underlying beliefs and thought patterns that feed the overeating and binging patterns. And then also to start accepting, respecting, and loving yourself and giving all the good feelings to yourself instead of the negative criticism and judgmental thoughts. And if you are interested in any of my coaching programs, there are links in the description below so you can check them out. And for the private coaching program, I offer a free discovery call where we can talk about your issues and your personal circumstances and then create a personalized solution for you. For group coaching program, there is an application form that you fill in and then I reply telling you whether we are the right fit or not. There are also some free resources in the description that you can start with. For example, the change code that shows you the 6 levels of change that are necessary to get to the solution, because usually people just address 1 or 2 levels of change and that's why they always self-sabotage their progress. And if you still think that you need to lose weight before you can sort out and fix your binge eating or emotional eating issues, watch this video next. Because in this video, I show you why trying to lose before fixing your relationship with food can backfire and actually makes the situation worse. See you soon.